Welcome everyone to our new channel, the Carnivore Experience. My name is Bill, and this is my wife Wendy.
Hi.
And today we are going to talk to you about a year ago today, January 28th, how we started our new health journey. Wendy?
So we're just going to tell you a little bit about where we started in our health before we started the carnivore journey. So we were business owners. We had many, many irons in the fire. We had two businesses we were trying to run. He had a full-time job at the school district. I was in school full-time as a student, and things just started to decline for us. It was getting harder to get the work done. We were in a lot of pain. We weren't sleeping well, and things were just building up. And at one point I had said to Bill, I don't think aging is supposed to be this bad. I just don't believe that aging means pain and suffering until you die. I just don't. And we had so many things going on for us that were good. We wanted to enjoy them, and we just didn't feel like we were going to be able to because of the direction we were headed. So with that being said, some of the things that I was feeling was probably not much unlike what everybody else was experiencing. Bloating, gassy, teeth problems, GERD, joint pain, couldn't, get up and down stairs or even go for a walk without being out of breath. It was miserable. I had reached 260 pounds. That was my highest weight ever. And I also, through our labs, had discovered that I was in fact pre-diabetic, and my triglycerides were quite high. So with that being said, though, Bill had a little bit of a worse experience. His experience, his conditions were a bit worse than mine, but I'll just let him fill you in on that.
So I work for a public school. I'm the IT director, handle all the computers and technology. Been doing that for about 24 years. Well, they require every year for our insurance, we have to get an annual health screening. And at one point, I really don't like doing these. I sat down in the chair next to the nurse, and she ended up taking my blood pressure. And she was like, we're going to have to try that again in a couple of minutes. So she asked me a bunch of other questions. She put the blood pressure cuff back on me 3-4 minutes later, and she was like, so here's the deal. Your blood pressure is so high that it doesn't even register where I would put it on the form here. It's highly recommended that you go to the doctor almost immediately because this is not good. And that was one of the many suggestions that I had gotten. On January 6th, I indeed went to go see my doctor, and when I got there, I weighed in at 306 pounds. He again confirmed that my blood pressure was in dangerous levels. My blood work showed my A1C being pre-diabetic as well, on top of my glucose being incredibly high, and my other blood indicators were just terrible. So I know I had to do something. And that's really what kind of...
Medication was not an option for us either.
It wasn't.
No.
And we weren't going to take,
No.
these types of different medications to reduce blood pressure and to reduce, cholesterol and things. So that really got us starting thinking about how we, at being in our middle age, middle 50s, are going to live the rest of our lives and stay healthy because the best times are coming here. So
absolutely. Or they should be. They should be the best times of our life.
Absolutely. So this is where we started an entirely new way of eating, and I'm going to let Wendy tell you a little bit about how that happened.
So at the end of the brewery life, we closed the brewery down December 17th, 2022, and immediately started a diet, and it wasn't working. It was a diet that we had tried in the past that had worked, and it just, this time it wasn't doing it. So, and Bill was getting kind of tired of the recipes. They were very good recipes, just we were getting bored of them.
It was a diet.
And it was a diet. So Bill came home one day and said he had heard about this program through his insurance. And there was a couple of people at work that he had noticed were losing weight, and trying to do everything that they could to get healthy. And so Bill inquired about it and came home and was telling me that this program, we'd be monitored, which is awesome to know, to just have that peace of mind that we're headed in the right direction. We're not harming ourselves. Because I think that's a problem for people too, is you have in the back of your mind, is this really working for me, or am I making something worse? You know, heart attack, stroke. When you get older, you start to worry about that stuff, even with what you eat and your dieting and things like that, or your exercise. But with Verta, we were being monitored by a health coach and a doctor. We had our labs done before we started. And every 6 months we have our labs taken, so we know exactly what's going on with our bodies. But after about a week of Verta, which was technically keto, do you want to tell them about how that went over? Because that was your story.
So, yes, Verta, the organization that was helping us on this, basically we're doing a restrictive form of keto. We weren't allowed to have any more than 30 grams of carbs a day, and those carbs were basically in the form of vegetables. I absolutely hate vegetables.
He thought it could come in a tortilla shell.
Yes, and it doesn't come in a tortilla shell. And for me, at my body weight at that time, they said I could have between 17 and 19 ounces of protein, and I believe you were like 16.
14 to 16.
Yep, there you go. And you know what? With good faith, I did it for a week. I could tolerate it for 1 week. I was telling my coach, well, I'm eating all these green beans. Yeah, well, the green beans are high in sugar and they're not really that good for you, and there's way more carbs. So broccoli and cauliflower. I hate broccoli and cauliflower. Never have liked broccoli. Well, try Brussels sprouts. I'd rather eat broccoli or cauliflower. That's how that works, okay? So at day 7 on being with Verta, I was pretty much done. I was angry, having to weigh out my vegetables, and yeah. And
it became like a full-time job.
It was, absolutely. So then, that weekend, we had a little trip to La Crosse, Wisconsin.
And then we met my cousin and her husband, and just a catch-up date, and we went to get something to eat. And before we left, though, we really struggled with the menu, so I had to turn it over to our health coach through Verta to ask her what it was we could actually have. She sent us back some options, and we both ended up with a romaine lettuce salad with 4 ounces of chicken.
A little chicken breast.
It was the most miserable meal I'd ever been through. It wasn't enjoyable. It wasn't exciting. It wasn't any. It was terrible.
No.
So anyway, we knew that was going to be a struggle for us. We just didn't know that my cousin with a big old fat ribeye and a stick of butter on her steak was going to tell us about this way of eating called BBBE, beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. And of course, Bill and I are looking at each other going, that's a direct path to a heart attack and death.
That's going to kill you.
About?
We can't do that. That's going to kill you. And what'd she say?
She said, Wendy, this is proving to heal autoimmune diseases. So I was paying attention and listened to what she had to say. And she sent us a bunch of links to a couple of documentaries, YouTube videos, people to kind of go and check in on. And of course, you always do your own research. You want to know you're doing the right thing for yourself. And by the time we were done with that, well, the first documentary was called Fat Fiction, and we will link that below too, as well as the others that we mention here. But the Fat Fiction documentary was quite eye-opening. Then there was that sugar film. That sugar film is a documentary that was done by an Australian man to set out to show Americans what we are being allowed to eat. And after 3 months of being on that standard American diet, this Australian man became sick. Healthy Australian man became sick. He too was monitored by 3 I don't want to say they were all health professionals, but they were all, within science. So that trip home, we watched as many YouTube videos as we could. And by the time we got home, we were like, what have we got to lose? It's far easier just looking at meat and fat. That's all we have to eat, and maybe a couple of supplements of some kind. And that's all we have to do. That's easy. And I could not believe how much easier my life became with following the carnivore way of eating.
It's been absolutely amazing. When I found out that all I have to do is eat beef, bacon, butter, eggs, pork, fish, chicken, and no vegetables.
And tons of it.
That really resonated with me. And never had we heard of the carnivore diet. This was I'm in my mid-50s, as is Wendy. Never had we heard of this before. And Boy, what a good thing we did, because it has been a boon to our health. As we've said, we've been on it just under a year. We can't wait to hit our 1 year mark. And I can tell you, I started out at 306 pounds. And today, as I sit here, I am down to 229 pounds. And you, Wendy?
Yeah, I topped out at 260 pounds, and I am now down to 190.
See, and there's going to be a complete other video that we're going to do on what it's actually done for us. Yes, weight loss is excellent, but the health benefits.
That's been profound.
When I was working in the brewery, I was, the brewmaster and making pizzas. By the end of the night, I couldn't even stand anymore. My back and hip hurt so bad. Well, as I sit here talking to you now, no back, no hip pain any longer. So,
and just to add to that,
yeah,
this man could not get comfortable standing, sitting, or laying down. It was miserable watching him try to find comfort, and he just couldn't. He was living on ibuprofen and Tylenol nightly, daily. It was terrible.
And since I started this last January 28th, I completely cut out all ibuprofen and all Tylenol. Haven't had to take any unless I took some cold medicine that had it in it. And that was because I had a cold. So
that only lasted 3 days.
That only lasted 3 days. Just another one of the benefits that we have experienced
Immunity.
with this. So that's one of the things that we look forward to on this channel, the Carnivore Experience, is sharing all of our experiences from the time we started to where we're at now, and continuing this journey. This is a way of eating that we are not going to stop doing because of all the benefits that we've seen. So,
yeah. And I want to point out too that we're not health professionals.
Nope.
We're not here, our disclaimer is that we're not here to treat you or cure you. The reason it's called the Carnivore Experience is because this is our journey, and we're going to share that with you. The other thing you want to keep in mind is that this is not, one of the words that we've kind of lost the meaning to is diet. And we're trying really hard to change that word because it doesn't mean what it used to. Diet today, for some reason, means weight loss, where diet used to mean what you feed and fuel your body with.
right.
And because of that, people are too quick to just jump on some kind of diet to lose weight, to fit in that dress for a wedding or whatever. And that's not what this is. And you can't do that with the carnivore diet. The carnivore diet, you have to research, you have to understand how you have to implement it, and then you have to be 100% committed. The only way to be successful with this and not harm your health any further is by committing 100%. It's not a on the wagon, off the wagon kind of way of eating. You can cause more harm.
And we're going to cover all of that
because
we have from time to time ate a few things that were a little bit off the reservation, and we had some consequences from that we didn't care for. And that's, it's a part of it as well. But the health benefits over the last year far outweigh any negative part of this.
So join us on this channel, like and subscribe, and we will list, like I said, the links below of the documentaries that we talked about, and a link to Dr. Ken Berry on YouTube. And as we do videos, we'll tell you more about other people that we follow and, who kind of motivated us along the way.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, I think we'll wrap this up. We won't take any more of your time, but this is our introductory to a way of living that we chose to go with, and it's been a huge success, so much so that we feel we need to deliver this to other people who may need it.
This community is growing. There's a lot of folks doing carnivore now, and our part is to share our experiences.
So have yourselves a great day, and thanks for joining us. Like and subscribe, please.
Yes, and also please use the comments section below if you have any questions or have any experiences you'd like to share with us. Again, thank you for watching our channel.
Have a great night. Bye, guys.